Such are the scenarios that welcome you to parts of Uasin Gishu, Trans Nzoia and Rift Valley counties. Scenes of some maize crop that is frail, yellow in color and showing signs of no hope of a bumper harvest as it is expected in these three counties. However, amidst all the uncertainty of what the maize harvest will be this season, there is one farmer who has risen above the challenges. Charles Odida is a farmer in Kiminini in Trans Nzoia County. His maize crop on this 90-acre farm looks nothing like the ones around, giving hope that all is not lost.
So I chose maize because when I looked around, it's easy to get people to buy the maize. Well, the price comes into play later, but the demand is available. So it's not a crop you'd grow, then you start struggling with where to take the produce after you're done with it.
Odida, like many farmers in this area, was not spared by the maize lethal necrosis disease that came knocking for the first time in the year 2011.
The virus that causes it can stay in the soil for several years. So until you planted and then you got affected, then you realize you need to do crop rotation, change and stop growing it.
50 acres of his maize crop is what he lost back then, but today he's one of those farmers who learned to apply proper agricultural practices to ensure he has a good harvest.
Before we plant on this farm, I normally draw soils for analysis. So they're taken to crop nutrition in Nairobi, the lab. Then they do the analysis and advise on soil pH, what is required for optimal production. I sit with my agronomist after that and then decide on the fertilizer application that is required for that season.
The evidence of what poor farming methods can do to maize, despite having the best seed and favorable weather, is seen in these two farms. These farms are separated from each other by just 2 feet. However, the difference is clear.
You have to use the right inputs and have them sourced early enough. So for us, what we do, for this particular farm, after the previous crop is harvested, we do not allow removal of stalks for use as a food for cows or something. We leave them here, then we do farrowing. Immediately, like a month after we finish harvesting, we do harrowing of the farm. That way, the harrows cut the maize stalks into smaller pieces. They also uproot any growing plant matter and bury them, albeit not so deep. That way they decompose and form humus and improve aeration and also reduce in fertilizer demand when you're at the time of planting.
Most farmers across the country are not keen on good crop husbandry. For most, as long as you apply fertilizer, you are good to go. A notion that has not only led to poor harvests, but also increased production costs as well.
Most farmers will tend to buy a particular fertilizer for planting because it's cheap, even if it turns out to be expensive in terms of production. So somebody might be buying a lot of DAP and using it for maize production. But is it really the right fertilizer for maize production? My answer is no.
Odida is, however, not a full-time farmer. He has a day job in Nairobi, and so time management, and especially during planting, harvesting and procurement of farm inputs, is usually a challenge. And sometimes there are some risks involved.
The biggest risks is, of course, incurring high production costs, not realizing significant yields, losses on the farm through theft, and then losses due to post-harvest handling.
This year, Odida expects to harvest 2,000 bags of maize, a harvest that is expected to help feed the nation and earn him about 6 million shillings.
For the confirmed orders, the average price is about 3,000 net, delivered to the various institutions.
Odida's advice to farmers is that they should not entirely rely on proceeds from their current crop to finance their next planting season, but always have other sources of finance.
Farming isn't just planting seeds and covering them. There is much more that goes into it. So if you want to maximize your yield from maize production or whatever crop you are doing, you must try to do it right. Engage a professional, seek advice where needed, and do what is right. And don't run to cut costs and in the process increase your losses.
Now, good agricultural practices are very important if agriculture is to succeed and play its rightful role in feeding the nation. Farming is not just the planting of seeds. Ruth Mutegi for Farm Talk in Kiminini, Kitale.